This is a review for the Lemfo LF10 smartwatch, and here is the watch right here. Let me show you what the box looks like. The box looks like this, and inside it you get a micro USB charging cable which connects to this little guy here, and that's how you charge the watch, and you also get an instruction manual. So let's go over the watch and a few of my favorite features. So this is it. You can see it's kind of got a fake leather band. The band is a little bit cheap, but it works and it's comfortable. You can see on the back it's got the little connectors where it charges. And then right here you have a little light, and that's for measuring your heart rate. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So onto the watch here. Let's go over the faces real quick. It's got a few different faces on it. If you touch and hold, you can swipe through the different faces, the face options. Now the face options, they're pretty neat, but there was one thing I found lacking in this compared to other Lemfo smartwatches that I've reviewed. The only face options only show you the clock and the date. None of them show you like your steps, if you're using this as a stepper, or any other information. So that was a little bit disappointing because I really like to see that information on the home screen. So this is my face of choice, so we'll go back to that. And if we swipe over, one thing you'll notice, this screen is very responsive. I haven't had any issues with mistouching, or anytime I swipe, it's very responsive, and I was very impressed with how well it worked. So a few of my favorite features here. Let's start back over here. So the pedometer, that's one that I use all the time. It was just charging, so I haven't actually gotten any of my steps in today. But one thing to note though is when you power off the watch, or it powers itself off and it comes back on, you have to come in here and manually turn your steps on. So just remember that if it powers off. It does have a sleep monitor, which without the app on the phone, and I connected this to my iOS device, which the app is really not good. It doesn't work well, it didn't connect, I wasn't able to get to sync, so the app for this particular watch in my trials was useless. So I used it standalone without the phone for the most part. There are a few features I did use the phone on, and I'll talk about those. It does have your sedentary reminder if you're sitting for too long, and you have a different color choice. If you want to pick this color, kind of outlines them in a little orange, and it's kind of cool too. So whichever you prefer. It does have two different faces, or two different option themes, I guess you could call them. Let's do the heart rate right now. We'll just do start. And I just have it on my finger right now. It does work on your wrist, and I would say that it's about 80% accurate. It does work because when I moved and got my heart rate up, it did record that it was up. So it works, but sometimes you have to push it down on your wrist, and as you can see, I've got hairier arms right here, so it doesn't quite make as good a connection. And here it goes. Right now it's just measuring from my finger, so it may not be as accurate, but it does a pretty good job. Not perfect by any means, but certainly gives you an idea. So don't expect perfection, you'll probably be happy with it. So go ahead and stop that. You can just do a single heart rate, take one, and it'll actually keep track in a history. Oops, not help. History, so there's my last heart rates and the time, so you can keep track of it there. And if the app worked, you could actually sync it up with your phone too. It does have a sound recorder, and that works well. Stopwatch calculator, your settings. There aren't too many settings, but you can fiddle with those. Your phone book, which it does pull up from your phone, so that is connected to my phone right now. The dialer works. You can dial a phone number and use your watch as a speakerphone, and that works well. You can get your call logs. The messaging says is not currently available. The remote notifier does not work. I could not get it to sync. Every time I click it, it says sync failed. Please reconnect the remote device. So I never got that to work. The alarm works, the calendar. You can play music on your watch from your phone. Doesn't have a very good speaker, so it's really not worth doing, but cool feature I suppose. Also, your remote capture, you can use this as a button, so you can pull up your phone kind of like a selfie stick and just click your watch and it'll take a picture. That's kind of cool. And you can manage your files, like your sound recordings, and that's pretty much it. So that went through pretty much all the settings. The ones that I skipped over are really pretty negligent. So overall, it's an okay watch as a standalone if you just want some features like a pedometer and oh, the ability to make a phone call from your watch, calculator, all those little things. But, you know, as far as connecting it to my phone, I didn't have a lot of success aside from using it as a phone or looking at my phone book. So that's pretty much my overview. If I were to compare it to the LF07, I would probably go with the 7 because it had a few more options in the software. Neither one of them have perfect software. They're both responsive though, and the hardware look good and work well, but the software really is where you're missing a little bit. But overall, not a bad watch for the price. I mean, it's only around 70 bucks, so you're not expecting an Apple Watch. But if you have any questions, feel free to comment. If you thought this video was helpful, click like below, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.